Vadra has slammed the government over fuel price hike. रॉबर्ट वाड्रा ने एक फेसबुक पर पोस्ट शेयर किया है जिसमें रॉबर्ट वाड्रा ये कह रहे हैं कि दरअसल ये इकोनॉमिक बैकलैश है इस देश के आम नागरिक के लिए, कॉमन मैन के लिए, और अब उनके सर्वाइवल का ये सवाल बन चुका है। इट्स अ क्वेश्चन फॉर देयर सर्वाइवल। रॉबर्ट वाड्रा फेसबुक पोस्ट के जरिए सरकार पर हमला बोल रहे हैं। उनका ये फेसबुक पोस्ट हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं जिसमें वो सवाल पूछ रहे हैं कि अब कॉमन मैन सर्वाइव कैसे करेगा।
A statutory monetary policy committee which has been given a target of inflation management, and you have a 4% as the mean with a plus minus 2, and consistently we've been within that range. Now if you look at even the monsoon season, when there is a spike in the vegetable prices and which contributes to a higher inflation, and this part of the year conventionally is the highest level of inflation that is seen in the Indian seasons. Where are we? We've touched 3.5%. There is an extent to a panic that a television program can create, that a 3.5%, which by Indian standards is very reasonable, modest rate of inflation, should be considered 70% increase because some 2.6 has become 3.4 or something. I think let's not play with statistics to an illogical level. As against the double-digit inflation under the UPA and the Congress government which this country was used to, you've consistently for the last 1 year had a under 4% inflation. 4% is the monetary policy target which we have. We are well within that target and the inflation management is quite under control. Secondly, after the monsoon season is over, when the spike period of the food inflation gets over, then you have inflation further moderating, and I see inflation over the next couple of months to within the range which is planned as a part of a stable economic policy.
This trench, right now, this is the only safest place that connects one forward post with another. One can't take the risk of moving out in open as intermittent firing and shelling from Pakistan side is continuing. We have seen escalation during the last few days. There has been 7 ceasefire violations in last 4 days. First, there was a ceasefire violation in Degwar, Keri and Karmara area. Then there was a ceasefire violation in Pargwal sector. And now for the last 8 hours, firing and shelling is continuing in this particular area. Short while back, one civilian was critically injured because of the shell that exploded close to his house. After that, the Indian troops too are giving them a befitting reply to silence Pakistani guns. Last night, one BSF personnel was martyred when a bullet from across hit his abdomen. Before he could be evacuated to hospital, he's come to his injuries. We have seen that in this particular sector of Arnia, few days back, Pakistani Rangers had sniped at one of the BSF personnel who was injured. It clearly indicates desperation on Pakistan's side. They are trying to provide cover fire to the terrorists so that they can sneak into this side of the border, and once again they can destabilize peace and in this region. Heavy shelling is continuing. BSF is giving them a befitting reply to silence Pakistani guns.
Amita, it's a major security lapse that has been reported from Indira Gandhi International Airport in the national capital. Now, this is shocking because, you know, nobody is allowed to carry any, knife with that person inside the aircraft because it can be extremely dangerous. But this passenger yesterday, who was supposed to travel in a SpiceJet flight from Delhi to Goa, managed to, carry with him a kitchen knife, and nobody in the CISF personnel, the CISF security officials who were doing the security check out there could really manage to find out. He had this kitchen knife with him in his hand baggage that he was carrying. He went inside the aircraft, and after he managed to go inside the aircraft with that kitchen knife, he was in fact flaunting it to other passengers and the crew members who were present, and immediately this was reported to the security officials, and this passenger was immediately detained after the security check again was carried out, and then this flight was allowed to take off from Delhi to Goa. But of course this passenger was taken to IGI police station. But it is indeed a major security lapse, and that too happening at IGI airport is extremely shocking. So far we haven't heard from the CISF officials yet on this entire incident. SpiceJet of course has confirmed to Times Now that yes, this incident took place, and also it is a major security breach.
Has there been any inquiry that has been ordered to look into this, because it's a security lapse and a very serious one? How can one passenger or any passenger, they have to go through a very thorough screening at the airports, managed to get a knife, and then he was out there flaunting it.
Absolutely. So we are waiting to hear from the CISF officials in this case as to what is going to be the kind of investigation that will be carried out in this case. We're also given to understand, Amita, that in this flight, even MOSPMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh was also traveling, and when this happened, there was a lot of drama inside the airport, and then this passenger was detained. We'll have to see how the CISF officials really respond to it. So far, no word coming in from there. But what is very interesting, Amita, is the fact that from April only, CISF had decided to do away with stamping of all hand baggage, and from April 1st onwards, all the handbags that we were carrying inside the IGI airport, it was not being stamped. So is it because of that the security lapse has taken place, or something else? That's something that really needs to be investigated.
Was murdered at her residence. Times Now has accessed exclusive details of the ballistic report. Now, the SIT team probing the murder has sought cartridges from the Kalburgi killing that has been given to the CBI, who in turn have given it to Scotland Yard. The probe team has sought help from Scotland Yard seeking those casings, but the important bit, of course, is the fact that they're drawing the link between the murder of Kalburgi as well as Gauri Lankesh, and they seem to have the evidence to prove that. Let's go across to Nikhil, who's now joining us live. Nikhil, this is a stunning development, the biggest one yet, a real lead that the police, the SIT team says that they have in this murder.
You know, Viren, we must look at the ballistics report, which points out at how the range of shooting was anywhere between 2 and 7 feet. And then I go back to a conversation that I had with a senior police officer who had spoken to me about how Gauri Lankesh was held in one hand of the killer while he used his other hand to take a shot. And this could be the one that was the bullet that was lodged in her chest, and probably the more fatal one. And also, speaking of the range between 2 and 7 feet, it also points at the one bullet that he missed that hit the wall adjoining the door of the house, and this happened right at the entrance of the gate itself, in the compound, but not near the door yet. So in that sense, we are looking at more gory details coming out of this particular case.
अब देखिए, जो भी एफिडेविट फाइल करनी है, हम लोग 18 तारीख को एफिडेविट फाइल करेंगे.
Well, these are the images coming in from Chennai, where apparently a war of words broke out between the TTV supporters, the TTV Dinakaran supporters, and Deepa's supporters on Anna's birth anniversary. Well, those are the visuals of... you can see Deepa Jayakumar in those visuals over there, and those visuals coming in from Chennai at the moment. Shabir getting us more updates on that front. Shabir, take us through what really happened.
Anna, the DMK, the Dravidian icon's 108th birth anniversary, and today a lot of politicians, including the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, the opposition party leaders, TTV Dinakaran and Deepa, all of them wanted to garland his photo near his statue in Mount Road, and there is a commotion on that particular road because of the VVIP movement that is taking place there. And apart from that, party workers from different factions have gathered there at Anna's statue, and there seems to be some kind of confrontation between Deepa supporters and TTV Dinakaran supporters. There seems to have been some kind of clashes that took place while Deepa arrived at the venue to pay her tribute to the Dravidian icon, and there was sloganeering that was witnessed on Mount Road when both these party men clashed with each other. And this has created some amount of tension, and clearly this only goes to show how there is a factionalism and internal feud within the AIADMK, where one faction is unable to accept another person, and clearly it has come to this level where clashes have erupted between different factions of the AIADMK.
His love is everlasting, His mercy is infinite. He has a purpose in our life, and what I went through definitely had a purpose. I have received the prayers and love of you all on my behalf to our God, and He has ultimately answered. I am freed, and I am happy and grateful to God for each of you, for your love, for your concern for me, for your prayers. May God bless each and every one of you and bless all those who have been involved in making this day possible. May God bless them, their dear ones. Thank you once again. I feel happy, I feel strong in my mind and soul. I still need a little more recuperation from my physical weaknesses. No major illness other than my diabetics. I'm visited by doctors, helped, and I'm sure God will put me back to whatever mission He wants me for as long as He wants, and ultimately reach Him. And may I wish that all of you along with me to rejoice one day and to praise God in His heavenly kingdom when He calls each of us. May God bless each of us, each of you. Once again, thankful for your prayers, your love, your concern.
Very clearly, the minister seen threatening those officials inside that bank branch.
Well, he is Minister in charge, North Bengal Development. His name is Rabindranath Ghosh. This incident happened at Kuch Bihar at the UBI branch of Ghugumari this morning. He went inside with his bodyguards where he is saying that there had been people waiting outside in the queue for almost 2 days hoping to withdraw cash, and they had been waiting without any sort of assistance or assurance that money would be given to them, and thus concerned he went to that bank branch. But then eventually what panned out was absolute pandemonium inside the bank branch as Rabindranath Ghosh, Trinamool Congress minister, who literally threatened all the bank officials that if people are not being served properly, then it's better to shut the branch, and he would do so. In fact, there had been altercation he engaged into with a lady bank official as well, where he insisted that the bank manager be called, be summoned right now. So it was a kind of a ruckus that broke out, which lasted for very long. In fact, a move that many might call populist for the very fact that he had entered into a bank branch, a central bank branch, raises a question as whether he has the authority or whether it comes under the jurisdiction of a minister to enter into a central bank and create such a ruckus. And also the other question, could this entire thing be done in a much polite or in a polite way, and rather than threatening the bank officials?
The CID was the investigating agency in the Kalaburgi case, and some startling revelations and discoveries were made. And now there seems to be some kind of a similarity between the killing of Kalaburgi and Gauri Lankesh. So is there a information sharing method or a mechanism that is set up, sir? SIT seeking for help or CID offering it?
There is a seamless exchange of information between SIT and CID, and what all the investigations done and the developments and conclusions that were drawn by CID have been shared with the SIT. And similarly, as and when SIT comes up with certain findings and conclusions, we would definitely be drawing them into our investigation as well.
Okay, sir, one quick word, sir. Back then the CID had gone on to question a few from the Sanatan Sanstha, and there were some credible leads there apparently. And now do you push that forward, sir? Have you suggested, or will the department of CID suggest to the SIT, or is the SIT considering Sanatan Sanstha questioning?
We would not like to at this point of time specifically name any individual person or organization, because CID has been following certain definite leads, but at the same time whatever evidences we gathered, we shared with other investigating agencies. They progressed and filed charge sheets. But as far as our case is concerned, we are looking for certain clinching finding in a couple of leads which we are working on. Only then we
that are listed against this person. What he did was he set up this Forsan Healthcare Private Limited. They were running 13 dental healthcare centers for providing dental healthcare as per the contract entered with the CGHS. But what they did was income earned from non-CGHS patients has been received in cash and not disclosed in the book of accounts. The annual collection from non-CGHS patients is in crores of rupees. The company has provided additional medical facility to the CGHS cardholder patient and charged separately for such service in cash and not accounted for such cash sales in the books of accounts. The bills raised for rendering services are inflated and making entries of the bogus patients by using bogus data. So this is what they have done. They've also said that he has two partners, namely some Srimati Himlata Sharma and Love Sharma, sister and brother of Mr. Satyavir Katara. Now, they have no credentials to handle the business, no evidence of actual business found. However, the firm has claimed sudden surge in turnover from 20 lakhs to 5.89 crores in 2015-2016. This appears a case of money laundering through bogus billing. No evidence regarding recruitment of personnel for security and housekeeping, their biodata, etc. were found. So there are multiple points that have been laid out here. They've also said, look at this. Now, there is a lady by the name of Srimati Pallavi Sharma who invested $5 lakh to facilitate her son's green card processing. Then she has taken a loan of 3.4 crores jointly from MS Forsan Healthcare Private Limited. This was remitted abroad after splitting into 3 accounts to circumvent RBI guidelines. The funds were transferred without approval from RBI. So there are other violations, PMLA, FERA violations that will come into play. Evidences regarding fake expenses in the shape of blank signed vouchers from bogus employees found from the premises. Evidence and bills of expenses incurred for construction of Scenic Farmhouse debited. And we introduce you to the Commissioner of Commissions. He is supposed to be one of the most corrupt top cops, a DCP level officer from New Delhi who is made crores through licensing. He's part of the licensing division. This is Mr. Satyavir Katara, Delhi DCP licensing and IFS officer of the 1996 batch. He was raided by the Income Tax Department on the 9th of September. He owns 17 shell companies in Delhi, 11 posh properties to his name. That's the reality of this man. And here are the charges against Satyavir Katara. Large-scale tax evasion is one of the charges against him. The other charge, as the income tax dragnet draws corrupt bureaucrats and babus and officers, the other charge is money laundering, stashed close to $5 lakh outside the country. And more importantly, bogus billing. Multiple charges that have come. The income tax search action under the Income Tax Act at the business and residential premises of Satyavir Katara. This is what it associates. It says he's been running a business in the name of his wife and close associate. One of the such businesses, dental care, through which a company named Forsan Healthcare Private Limited. Now, this is the list of companies, 17 shell companies that I have in my possession. We are putting out the names of these companies also. Forsan Healthcare Private Limited, Akaya Enterprises Private Limited, Ishan Healthcare Private Limited, Panache Global Private Limited, Greno Projects Private Limited, Jai Shiva Infra Projects Private Limited, J&D Infotech Private Limited, JV Medical Services, all with a paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees, except for this one, which is 37 lakhs 55,000 Greno Projects, and Jai Shiva with about 1 crore paid up capital. The rest are all 1 lakh. Techno Infrastructure, no paid up capital, 5 lakh and 50 lakh paid up capital for Ratan Medicos and GBK Projects, Greno Infotech, 1 lakh. Sark Sourcing Private Limited, Dream Theme Hotels Private Limited, BSC Projects Private Limited, and RR Exim Private Limited. These are the 17 shell companies that he has formed, through which he has rooted crores and crores of rupees. He also has mega sets of properties. The property list itself is mind-boggling. 11 different properties that he has to his name. That is the entire set that we have. This is the description of property: 140 square meters in Greater Noida, 450 square meters in Sector 47 Noida, Greater Kailash 250.83 square meters, 29 bighas, Khasara number 28 se in Devrala Tehsil Kapashera. Then 1 acre, 4 canal, 7 marla in once again in Bahadurgarh district, Jhajjar. You have land purchased at village Rauta, 2,500 square yards. 1,200 square area approximate farmhouse in Sainik Farm, and farmhouse used as a cow farm adjoining to farmhouse of Tapasi Ghai, 2 acres. Stated to be taken from Shri B.L. Agarwal. Now there is more data, and it's mind-boggling, ladies and gentlemen. 2 acres of land which was adjacent to a cow farm and a farmhouse. 1 acre of land purchased from a person named Tapsi Ghai in Jhajjar district in Haryana. Land used as a cow farm in Anandpur, Faridabad. Approximately it is 5 acres of land. So this entire list of companies, shell companies, and about 11 different properties have all been raided. And
the weapon is available. Whatever weapon.
A similar type, you mean?
7.65 weapon is available. That will be subjected to test. They will conduct some test firings. And the bullets that have emanated out of the test firings are to be compared with the bullets that have come out of the Gauri Lankesh body, as well as that of those available in the crime scene. If the match, then the weapon could be precisely fixed up. Till then, it is only assumptions.
Okay.